Hello everyone, welcome to the Canadian Edge. It is time for another knife review. And I'm sure most of you can figure out what knife we are looking at today. It is the Benchmade Bugout. And this is probably one of Benchmade's more popular knives on the market right now. A lot of people are buying them, and they are a very customizable knife, which is why a lot of people like them, and a very practical knife, which is why a lot of people like them. And let's take a look at what this has to offer. So the blade on this is 3.24 inches, open it's 7.46 inches, and closed we have 4.22 inches. The steel on this, it is a CPM S30V, and it's DLC coated. And that DLC is diamond-like carbon coating. So it's supposed to make the blade a little more tougher and I think a little less susceptible to rusting and stuff like that. So the weight of it is 1.85 ounces, and the handle on this particular model is a CF Elite carbon reinforced nylon polymer. So they have different handles that you can get for these, and as I was saying, this is a very customizable knife right now. Probably one of the most customizable knives on the market. And it can come with the grivery handles on it. You can get titanium handles on it, flytanium handles. So there are a variety of handles, and it did used to come out, at least the less expensive version, came out with the grivery. And the CF Elite is supposed to be 50 times stronger than the grivery without compromising any of the weight reduction. So they're basically the same weight, but just a lot more strength. And those people with the grivery will know that you can squeeze this together fairly easy. So this has the CF Elite on it. The pocket clip, it is a stainless steel short version, but it is deep carry. And sorry guys, it is... Oh no, it is reversible. I was going to say it's right hand only, but it's reversible. So that makes the knife ambidextrous, and it is a tip-up carry. So with the axis lock, which it has the axis lock, it makes it a lot easier for people who are left-handed to use this knife as well. So, like the axis lock on these. It does have a dual thumb stud for activation purposes, or you can flick it out with using the axis lock. It does have a lanyard hole at the back. It has open spine with the barrel spacers, and it does have some jimping back here on the back of the handle for a little bit of grip with your thumb when you're holding it, so that's nice. I like the jimping. So this knife, as I have said, is very popular right now. Benchmade has a bunch of different varieties with different steels on them, and just depends on how much you want to pay. I was able to get this one. Cabela's is clearing them out, so they had them on sale, so I snapped this one up. Debated for a long time whether I actually wanted to get one of these, not because I don't like them, just because they're kind of overhyped a little bit, although they are a very good knife. So just a lot of people have them and have talked about them and reviewed them and showed them online, and so I wasn't sure I wanted to do that, but I jumped on board, and I picked one up for myself, mostly because I wanted one. So I figured, why not do a review, being I have one. So you can see it lines up down the middle quite nicely. The action on it works well right out of the box. No up and down blade play. There is a slight side to side, and maybe it just needs the pivot screw tightened a little bit. It's definitely not anything I'm worried about because you barely notice it, but it is there. Let's do a size comparison. And we have the Ontario Rat 2, Ontario Knife Company, Rat 2. So they are fairly close to the same size. The Bugout is slightly bigger. I have the Civivi Elementum, and the Bugout is bigger than that. And we got a couple more here. We have the Spyderco Tenacious, and it is slightly bigger than the Bugout. And my latest favorite knife, the Civivi Cogent, and it's definitely bigger than the Bugout. So it's a good size knife. I would say it's full size knife or close to it. It does have a blade that's over 3 inches long, so it's definitely a good sized knife. I really like the aesthetics on this knife, although I have to be honest, there's no real wow factor to it unless you get like the titanium handles and stuff like that. They do make it look a little nicer, a little fancier in that, but your basic model, it doesn't necessarily have, you know, that real wow factor to it, but it is still a nice looking knife. It has simple lines to it, simple blade design, you know, nothing too fancy, but it looks pretty decent. And the ergonomics on it are really good. I like how the ergonomics are. You do have a little bit of a choil there, sharpening choil, definitely not a finger choil. Makes it a little easier to sharpen. It does have a little bit of swedge on the blade there, which I like that on the blades. And the action on it is really good. It's so smooth, and right out of the box this thing was firing with no problems at all, and both with the axis lock and with the thumb studs it worked very well. I did put some pivot lubrication on it just because I didn't necessarily need it, but I did put it on. One of the things I like about it is how light this knife is, 1.85 ounces. So for you people who do a lot of backpacking and hiking, this would be a good knife to look into, because as you know, if you're on a 3+ day hike, every little bit of weight makes a difference. Even on a day hike, weight makes a difference. So this is a knife I would recommend for people that are out doing multiple day hikes and they want to keep everything as light as possible. Check these babies out. You won't be disappointed. And they're nice and slim as well. You compare them to, you know, the Spyderco, you can see it's definitely slimmer. Even the Civivi, it's a little bit slimmer than the Civivi, so they're a nice slim knife. They have really good grip on them. You can see the texturing on the handle there. And I forgot to mention, they don't have a liner, which is why with the Grivery that you can push that together, because the handle is all you got. You don't have a liner underneath, which allows you to have the lighter knife. And it fits in the pocket really well because it is a slim design. You, especially weight-wise, you don't notice it in your pocket, not like some of the bigger, bulkier knives. Again, like the Tenacious, which is bigger and bulkier. But it fits really well, and it works really smoothly. I'd say the only real complaint I have about it, which I don't really have a whole lot of complaints about it, but if I had to complain, I would say I just wish that they would have made the pocket screws flush, just to cut down on wear and tear on your pocket. Although it's minimal wear and tear, and it's definitely not something I would lose any sleep over. But they are definitely a nice knife. So what do they come like in terms of sharpness? Well, let's see what we got here. It cuts paper, and now in fairness, I have used this a couple times, and I wish I would have had a camera when I did it. I'm going to open up a zip tie, but I had to open up a package. We got a package where new utensils, and they were all fastened in with zip ties, and so I pulled this thing out to cut the zip tie, and as you can see, went through the zip tie like nobody's business. And on the packaging there, it opened up the packaging, it opened up the zip ties. I was very impressed, and if I would have had a camera with me, I would have filmed it, but I didn't. And it cut through that with almost no effort at all. It's not a paracord, but it's a pretend paracord. And this is a nylon string, and again, it cuts through there quite nicely with very little effort. And the S30B, those of you that are familiar with the steels will know S30B carries an edge for a long time. A little harder to sharpen than your economical steels, but your budget steels. But it will hold an edge for a long time, so that's nice. If you get it sharp, it's going to stay sharp for a long time, unless you're smacking rocks or something with your blade, which I do not suggest. So it does come sharp out of the box, and the only reason you'd need to sharpen it anymore is if you prefer just a little sharper knife, and good luck to you sharpening it. There are people out there who will put a better edge on it. I personally am quite happy the way it came out of the box. So this is the Benchmade Bugout. If you haven't checked them out already, check them out. A lot of sporting goods stores carries them. Here in Canada, you can find them at Alcabella's and House of Knives, Warriors and Wonders. They all carry them. They're easily found on the internet, so check them out. And definitely, like I say, if you're a person who's worried about weight and you're outside a lot, this is definitely a knife to consider. And I don't think you will be disappointed. So I give this knife 2 thumbs up. I've carried it quite a bit the last couple weeks and have really enjoyed using it and look forward to using it quite a bit more. So Benchmade Bugout. Alright, thank you for joining me on this review. Hit the like and subscribe button, leave me a comment. I will get back to you and appreciate reading those and hearing what people have to say. I'll be doing another knife review in a couple days. Until then, you stay safe and stay sharp.